20 old house styles, no longer built today. We all miss them. Once common in American suburbs, flat-roofed houses, rough concrete walls, octagonal designs, or colonial revival styles have now quietly receded into the past. Each style is a distinct mark of aesthetic taste, architectural ambition, and the spirit of its era. This video will take you on a visit to house styles that were once very popular, but now seem to only live on in old photographs. Octagon house. A house with 8 perfectly symmetrical sides, a unique image almost foreign to modern residential architecture. The Octagon house was a prominent architectural trend in the mid-19th century, widely promoted by Orson Squire Fowler. Fowler, a visionary, believed that these houses were not only beautiful, but also much more efficient than traditional rectangular houses. He argued that an octagonal house could enclose about 20% more interior space with the same perimeter, making them significantly cost and energy efficient. Their prominent advantages also included optimizing airflow and natural light permeating every corner, providing a feeling of spaciousness and vitality. Many octagon houses were also designed with flat roofs, topped by a central cupola to enhance ventilation and light. Surrounding verandas created an expansive open space, ideal for outdoor relaxation, along with innovative heating and water collection systems, demonstrating pioneering design. Although offering many clear benefits, octagon houses never truly became a mainstream trend and gradually disappeared from public view in the early 1900s. Perhaps the complexity of construction and the familiarity with traditional architecture made them difficult to compete. Nevertheless, some well-preserved examples still exist today, such as Longwood Mansion in Mississippi or the Octagon House in Watertown, Wisconsin, serving as historical witnesses to a period of experimental architecture. Saltbox house style. The Saltbox style house carries a rustic charm and deep history, being a distinct hallmark of the American colonial period. Their name originates from their exterior shape, reminiscent of the wooden saltboxes common at the time. The most prominent characteristic of the Saltbox house is its unique single-slope roof, creating a 2-story structure at the front and only 1 story at the back of the house. This design is not only aesthetic but also very practical, helping the house better withstand harsh weather, especially wind and snow. Most Saltbox houses have a brick chimney located in the middle of the roof, adding stability and balance to the overall architecture. This style was originally created to be an affordable housing option, aiming for simplicity and minimal ornamentation. Original Saltbox houses typically lacked complex decorative details, focusing on functionality and durability. They were a symbol of the practicality and frugality of the early American settlers. Although not as widely built today as before, Saltbox houses remain an important part of the architectural heritage of New England and other former colonial areas. They tell a story of human diligence, simplicity, and adaptability during the early days of building a nation. For many, seeing a Saltbox house is like returning to a simple past, where life was slow and people were connected to nature. Queen Anne style. If you love the romance, intricacy, and a touch of whimsy of the Victorian era, then the Queen Anne style will surely captivate you. Emerging in the US from 1880 to 1910, this style replaced the French-inspired Second Empire and quickly gained widespread appeal. What makes Queen Anne houses special are their artistic asymmetrical facades, expansive large porches, and intricate decorative woodwork. You will often see unique patterned shingles and tall round or square towers, creating a dramatic and impressive overall appearance. Unlike the Queen Anne style in England, which had a more rigid character, the American version was more spontaneous and whimsical, with diverse rooflines and astonishingly complex details. The use of multiple colors on the exterior is also an iconic feature, making each house a colorful and distinctive work of art. This style spread throughout the country, influencing not only luxurious mansions and upscale townhouses, but also smaller, more modest homes. This is one of the 4 main styles of the Victorian era, but they all share common characteristics of richness in detail and asymmetrical design. However, after 1900, the intricacy of Queen Anne gradually gave way to simpler designs like Colonial Revival. Nevertheless, some of its prominent features, such as wraparound porches, continued to be popular. The most famous house in this style is the Carson Mansion in Eureka, California, dubbed one of the most photographed Victorian homes in the country. Shotgun house. Imagine a house where you could fire a bullet through the front door, and it would fly straight out the back door without hitting any obstacles. That's the idea behind the name shotgun house. A narrow, characteristic rectangular house style that was popular in the southern U.S. states from the late 19th century to the 1920s. These houses were typically only about 12 feet, approximately 3.6 meters, wide, with rooms arranged in a straight line, without separating hallways. This unique design helped optimize space on narrow lots and maximize natural ventilation, a great advantage in the hot, humid climate of the South. The origin of the shotgun house style is believed to be New Orleans, heavily influenced by Haitian and West African architecture from the early 1800s. They were an efficient housing solution, low in construction cost, and allowing for high-density housing in developing urban areas. You could easily see them built close together, forming long, unbroken rows of houses, reflecting the urgent housing demand of a rapidly urbanizing society. Unfortunately, many shotgun houses fell into disrepair in the mid-20th century due to urban redevelopment projects. However, in recent years, the trend of urban renewal, gentrification, has brought a wave of restoration to them in some areas, giving these seemingly outdated houses a chance to be revived and reclaim their historical value. One of the most famous examples of the shotgun house style is the birthplace of music legend Elvis Presley in Tupelo, Mississippi, which has now been preserved as a museum. Lustron homes. A house entirely assembled from steel, like a giant adult building set. That was the idea behind Lustron homes, all-steel prefabricated houses built in the late 1940s to address the severe housing shortage after World War II. Designed by industrialist Carl Strandlund, Lustron's goal was to create houses that were durable and required significantly less maintenance than traditional wooden houses. Each house was a marvel of engineering, made from enameled steel panels and constructed from a kit containing over 3,000 parts. The Lustron company envisioned producing tens of thousands of such homes, with a vision for an industrialized, efficient, and modern housing solution. The interior of Lustron homes was equally unique, with shiny metal walls, smart built-in cabinets and storage, and even a unique combination washing machine and dishwasher, an astonishing innovation at the time. They were designed to be easy to clean and maintain, suitable for a modern, busy lifestyle. Despite possessing many outstanding advantages and an ambitious vision, the Lustron company faced numerous financial problems and government intervention, leading to its bankruptcy in 1950. Although the production period was short, over 2,000 Lustron homes were built. Some Lustron homes were even exported to Venezuela to serve oil workers. Among the house styles just mentioned, which one makes you feel like going back to the past the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. Brutalist homes. When it comes to architecture, some styles make you feel cozy, while others make you marvel at their sophistication. And then there's brutalism, a bold, strong style that emerged in the 1950s and reached its peak popularity through the 60s and 70s. Interestingly, the name brutalism comes from the French term béton brut, meaning raw concrete, not from the word brutal. The first thing you'll notice in a brutalist house is the prominence of raw concrete, completely undisguised or ornamented. Sharp, solid geometric forms create an unmistakable appearance, emphasizing minimalism and a complete rejection of all superfluous, decorative elements. For lovers of modern and minimalist design, brutalism is a dream come true. They are often considered sculptural rather than cozy, with natural materials and sharp edges, creating a clear contrast with traditional styles. This style was inspired by modern architects like Le Corbusier, who emphasized function over form. Initially, many brutalist structures were built as social housing or university buildings, particularly popular in socialist countries where concrete symbolized equality and industrial strength. However, by the late 1970s, this style began to decline as many associate it with urban decay, cold, and uninviting designs. Nevertheless, some brutalist structures have overcome initial prejudices and achieved significant cultural meaning, now protected as historical monuments. American Craftsman style. Let's go back to the early 20th century, a time when people yearned for authenticity and meticulous human craftsmanship over mass production by machines. That's when the American Craftsman style emerged, an indispensable part of the arts and crafts movement, especially emphasizing handcrafted design and the use of natural materials. This style quickly became extremely popular in California, where small single-family homes known as California bungalows spread widely. Inspired by the prairie and shingle styles, Craftsman houses typically feature low-pitched roofs with wide overhangs, exposed roof rafters, and decorative beams or braces under the eaves. Inside, you'll notice the presence of many wooden details, built-in fixtures like bookshelves or integrated seating, creating a cozy and highly functional space. This movement was strongly promoted by figures like Gustav Stickley, who published the Craftsman magazine to widely popularize this style. Notably, unlike the English arts and crafts movement, American designers succeeded in making handcrafted homes more affordable, accessible to the middle class. The Craftsman style began to decline in the 1930s as more modern architectural trends gained prominence. However, its legacy remains vibrant through emblematic structures such as the Gamble House in Pasadena, California, built from 1908 to 1909 by Green & Green, a masterpiece of American craftsman architecture. Today, the Craftsman bungalow style is making a comeback, favored by many for its warmth, rustic appeal, and the sustainable values it offers. Cape Cod house style. When mentioning traditional American houses, Cape Cod is certainly one of the first images that comes to many people's minds. This is a style rich in history and coziness, reminiscent of peaceful coastal regions. The most prominent characteristics of the Cape Cod style are its steep pitched roof, along with wooden siding, multi-pane windows, and hardwood floors. These houses typically have only one story, but sometimes also a story and a half, creating usable attic space. Although popular in the 1930s, the Cape Cod style has actually been around for a very long time, since the late 17th century. Initially, Cape Cod houses were quite small and compact. However, to increase space, light, and ventilation, dormer windows were often added. The Cape Cod style symbolizes simplicity and practicality while retaining timeless charm. They reflect a lifestyle connected to nature, to the sea, and a frugal yet refined spirit. Though no longer the hottest trend, Cape Cod remains a classic and beloved choice for those seeking peace and nostalgia in their living space. Atomic Ranch. After World War II, America entered a new era of optimism, innovation, and dreams of the future. In this context, Atomic Ranch emerged as a type of mid-century modern home, a variation of the classic ranch house but with sophisticated modern design and open floor plans. Architect Cliff May helped popularize the ranch house style from the 1930s, inspired by Spanish colonial homes in California. By the 1950s, 9 out of 10 new homes in America were ranch style, a testament to their overwhelming popularity due to their affordability and practicality. Atomic Ranch elevated the ranch style to a new level with features distinctly marked by the space age. You'll see large windows, clear story windows, windows high on the wall for light, and unique flat or butterfly roofs. Additionally, Atomic Ranch is known for its bold colors and futuristic design elements, evoking the space age. They are not afraid to show personality with vibrant hues and unique forms. One of the most famous builders of Atomic Ranch homes was Joseph Eichler, who helped spread this style throughout California, making it a symbol of modern and liberal living. Tudor Revival architecture. When you look at Tudor Revival houses, you'll immediately feel an ancient, romantic breeze from medieval England. Popular in the United States in the early 20th century, especially from the 1920s to the 1930s, this style captivated wealthy Americans, particularly in suburban neighborhoods. Identifying features of Tudor Revival are steep-pitched roofs, prominent decorative half-timbering against light-colored walls, and towering brick chimneys. Dark wood, trim, and bricks are often highlighted by cream, light brown, or white stucco stone walls, creating an impressive contrast. Steep, pitched roofs and prominent gables are key elements, providing a majestic and classic appearance. This style is strongly associated with old-world charm and exquisite craftsmanship, making it appealing to those seeking a historical and luxurious beauty for their home. You can easily find many well-preserved Tudor Revival houses in New York City suburbs like Westchester County, Inglewood, and Teaneck, where they stand as architectural gems of a bygone era. After World War II, as more modern and efficient house styles gradually gained prominence, the popularity of Tudor Revival began to decline. By the 1970s and 1980s, American builders attempted to simplify this style by using synthetic materials instead of real wood, making them easier to maintain. Have you ever lived in a uniquely styled house like this? What is your most memorable memory of that house? Dutch Colonial Revival style. The most characteristic identifying feature of this style is its unique gambrel roof, often likened to a barn roof, along with wide, overhanging eaves. This style is inspired by original Dutch houses built by settlers in the 17th and 18th centuries, primarily in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. However, there's a distinct difference. Unlike the sturdy stone and brick structures of the early Dutch houses, Dutch Colonial Revival homes are often made with clapboard siding and feature prominent, large dormer windows to add space and natural light. This design also typically includes a symmetrical facade, a centrally located main entrance, and decorative shutters adorning its classic and charming appearance. This architectural style maintained its popularity until the 1930s, especially in the northeastern United States. One of the most famous Dutch Colonial Revival houses is linked to a legendary story: the house at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, which became infamous due to the Amityville horror legend. American Foursquare. In the late 19th century, as the elaborate and ornate nature of Victorian architecture tired many, a new style emerged as a breath of simplicity and practicality: American Foursquare. This was a clear reaction against overly decorated Victorian homes, prioritizing a cleaner, more functional design. American Foursquare houses are typically 2.5 stories tall with a square, boxy shape, helping to maximize interior space on narrow city lots. Because of this characteristic shape, they are also known as prairie box, sharing many features with Frank Lloyd Wright's pioneering prairie architecture. You will often see them with a large front porch, a hipped roof with a central dormer window, and interiors with built-in cabinets influenced by the Craftsman style. The combination of open space, natural light, and smart interior details made them an attractive option. A unique aspect that contributed to the popularity of American Foursquare was that many of these houses were sold as mail-order homes, with companies like Sears and Aladdin providing pre-cut materials for easy assembly. This significantly reduced construction costs and building time, making the dream of homeownership more accessible for many families. This style was particularly popular in urban neighborhoods of the Midwest and streetcar suburbs, where the demand for efficient and affordable housing was high. American Foursquare was not just a house style, it was also a symbol of practicality and efficiency in design, suitable for the dynamic pace of a developing America. Neoclassical house style. Stepping into a neoclassical house, you will immediately feel a sense of grandeur and magnificence, as if you've wandered into an ancient Greek or Roman temple. This style is typically large in scale, strongly reminiscent of traditional Greek and Roman architecture. The most prominent feature of these houses is large, massive columns, often framing the main entrance or even running along the entire facade of the house. These columns are not only decorative but also create a majestic and formal appearance. Neoclassical houses often feature perfectly symmetrical designs and focus on geometric shapes to create a balanced, harmonious look. This balance is expressed through the arrangement of windows, doors, and other architectural details. Furthermore, details such as arches, windows, and doors are all elaborately and meticulously decorated, showcasing sophistication in sculptural and construction art. Every line, every pattern is carefully crafted, contributing to an impressive and luxurious architectural ensemble. Although no longer as commonly built as before, the neoclassical style remains a testament to the respect for classical values, the timelessness of beauty, and the golden ratio in architecture. Country French house style. Join us on a journey to the French countryside where charming, rustic yet captivating small houses have enchanted countless hearts. The country French style in the United States has a history dating back to the 18th century, carrying the peaceful and simple charm of rural France. These houses usually have one story with many narrow windows and double shutters, creating a neat and graceful appearance. Indispensable features include steep pitched roofs, which can be hipped or side-gabled, along with stucco walls and half-exposed timber framing. These details evoke a classic and rustic feel, as if the house has stood there for centuries. The facades of country French houses are truly striking, often adorned with impressive driveways and landscape designs. A winding driveway, vibrant flower beds, or lush green trees all contribute to a living space full of poetry and harmony with nature. Although no longer a dominant trend in modern architecture, country French houses always hold a special appeal for those seeking peace, romance, and a touch of nostalgia for European fairy tales. Victorian house style. When speaking of old houses, many immediately think of splendid, detailed, and romantic Victorian homes. The Victorian era lasted from 1837 to 1901, and throughout this period, many different house styles emerged, but all shared a common spirit of richness and complexity. Victorian houses often feature steep-pitched roofs, prominent front-facing gables, unique patterned shingles, and angled bay windows creating light-filled spaces. You will often see an asymmetrical facade with a front porch wrapping around all or part of the house, inviting leisurely afternoons outdoors. Inside, the interior of a Victorian house is a private world of romance, characterized by richness and detail, from textile patterns to colors and textures. Every corner is meticulously cared for, creating a luxurious and distinctive living space. Today, contemporary Victorian house designs still retain traditional features but have been combined with modern fabrics and colors, creating a harmonious blend of classic and modern. If you could bring back an old house style and turn it into your dream home, which style would you choose and why? We'd love to hear your story and ideas. Cottage house style. Imagine a small, charming, cozy house that seems to step right out of a fairy tale. That is the cottage style, inspired by thatched roof houses in rural medieval England. This style became particularly popular in the United States during the 1920s and 1930s, bringing a rustic, approachable, and romantic beauty. Common characteristics of cottage homes include a fairy tale-like aesthetic, steep-pitched and gabled roofs, charming arched doors, casement windows with small panes, and wall-cladding materials such as brick, stone, or stucco. Every detail of a cottage house evokes warmth and peace. From natural stone walls to small windows overlooking the garden, everything harmonizes to create a poetic living space. These are homes not just for living but for enjoying, for finding tranquility amidst a busy life. Although currently not a dominant architectural trend, the cottage style always holds a special place in the hearts of those who love simplicity, rusticity, and timeless beauty. They are proof that beauty does not necessarily come from grandeur but can be hidden in the smallest, most familiar things. Italianate house style. If you love elegance, sophistication, and a touch of classical European architecture, then the Italianate style will surely attract you. The Italianate house style is known for its wide, overhanging eaves and elaborate decorative details around doorways, windows, porches, and support columns. Each detail is meticulously carved, showcasing sophistication and architectural art. Italianate houses typically have tall chimneys and gently pitched roofs. They often have 2 or 3 stories, with shapes like large rectangular boxes, but are far from monotonous thanks to the diversity and richness of their decorative details. This creates an appearance that is both sturdy and artistic. Another unique feature you often see atop these Italian-inspired structures is a small square tower, also known as a cupola, sometimes even a tall tower, providing a unique and impressive architectural highlight. A cupola not only adds beauty to the house but can also be used for light or as an observation point. The Italianate style was once very popular, a symbol of prosperity and the refined aesthetic taste of the homeowner. It is rare to encounter old houses of this style on today's streets. Therefore, they are still treasured and preserved as part of a unique architectural heritage. Greek Revival house style. Imagine ancient Greek temples with majestic white columns, now reinterpreted in American homes. That is the Greek Revival style, easily recognizable by its bright white facade and impressive large columns. Key features of a Greek Revival house include a large, spacious layout, low-pitched roofs, and front doors often framed by small windows. These doors are not just entrances, but also part of the overall architecture, designed to harmonize with the grandeur of the columns. This style was particularly popular in the southern United States, where you are very likely to find rocking chairs placed on wide porches, inviting you to sit down and enjoy the fresh air. These porches are decorative and create an ideal outdoor living space, especially suitable for the warm climate of the South. Greek Revival is a declaration of classical beauty, expressing respect for democratic values and the greatness of Greek civilization, far beyond a mere house style. These houses are testaments to an era when architecture was used to convey pride and the inheritance of noble cultural values. Tudor house style. When mentioning the Tudor style, many will associate it with the ancient, mysterious, and poetic houses of medieval England. This style's name suggests a connection to 16th century English architecture of the Tudor dynasty, although the Tudor houses we see today are actually modern versions recreated based on diverse medieval English prototypes. They are often called mock Tudor to distinguish them from original Tudor architecture. A Tudor house typically features steep pitched roofs, prominent gables, and decorative half-timbering. This is one of the most recognizable features, with dark wooden beams contrasting sharply against cream, light brown, stucco, or white stone walls. The windows are often tall, narrow with many small panes, creating a classic and distinctive appearance. Although it has a long history and was once very popular, the Tudor style gradually declined after World War II. By the 1970s to 1980s, to align with modern trends and reduce costs, builders simplified this style by using synthetic materials instead of real wood. However, the timeless beauty and classic charm of Tudor houses still make them a special choice for those who love a blend of history and art in their living space. Mediterranean house style. Close your eyes and imagine standing in a sunny garden in the Mediterranean region, where rustic yet charming houses shine under the sun. That's the feeling the Mediterranean house style evokes, often featuring low-pitched red tile roofs, graceful arches, decorative ironwork, and stucco or adobe exteriors. The typical U-shaped floor plan of these houses usually faces a central courtyard, where there might be a fountain, turning the garden into an extension of the living space. Rooms in the house often open to the courtyard, facilitating cross-ventilation and fresh air circulation throughout the house, an ideal design for warm climates. This style is inspired by the architecture of coastal Spain and Italy. Spanish colonial houses, a form of this style, have fewer windows, and the windows are often quite small with an asymmetrical structure. They are not as lavish as some other Mediterranean houses, but still retain the characteristic arches and wrought iron details. Although the Mediterranean style generally is the most expensive house style to build due to the need for custom windows, multiple layers of insulation, and expensive tile roofs, it still offers timeless beauty and a relaxed, luxurious feel. The Mediterranean style is not merely architecture, it's a lifestyle, where natural beauty merges with comfort, inviting you to enjoy every moment under the sun and sea breeze. Houses of this style tell a story of culture, climate, and the desire to live fully amidst sunny, windy nature. We hope this video has brought you meaningful, nostalgic moments, helping you look back and appreciate the architectural values that have shaped the communities and cities we see today. Do you remember any other house styles that were once very popular but no longer appear much? Share your memories and thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Back to Yesterday so you don't miss out on interesting stories about the past.